The following presentation is brought to you through the paid memberships of notarystars.com, the only notary training platform and resource library with over 150 hours of training on every loan product under the sun. Together with our sister website, onlinenotariespublic.com, which focuses on notaries who are pioneering in remote online notary, we strive to give you a safe place to ask questions, get answers, gain confidence in your notary career, and achieve success without overfabricating the truths about our industry. If you would like to support us, please consider liking this video, subscribing to our channel, sharing this video with a colleague, or becoming a member and trusting us to help you achieve the level of success you desire.
Well, hey there, friends. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving and they're still trying to figure out what to do with all those leftovers, right? If you are new to Monday General Mentorship and Notary Stars this evening, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back to the Notary Nut House, okay? Or the Nerd House. Let's meet your mentors, your guiders here today. My name is Beth Hathoot. I'm the lead instructor for Notary Stars. Ronnie Nickel is with us. He's the founder of Notary Stars and marketing SEO wizard and Wix legend. Kirsten Bly, our notary liaison. Say wave hi. Our notary liaison. If you're a brand new notary, Kirsten's here to hold your hand and get you headed in the right direction. Bill Bumfrey is also here, our expert Ron guru, ready to unravel the mysteries of remote online notarization. And not the least of all, our bilingual instructor, Mr. Manuel Puga. So learn the translation tricks when presenting loan documents in Spanish. We hold MGM sessions every Monday, except for holidays, at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. That puts us in Arizona right at 6 o'clock. So mark your calendars for future meetings. Let's make the most of this hour that we have together and leave feeling inspired, informed, and ready to conquer the notary world. We try to make listening an important part of this session, and our purpose tonight is for everyone to have a shared understanding of our industry. Hopefully you'll participate tonight by raising your virtual hands and asking that one question that's been haunting you. You might be a brand new notary or have 20 years experience, but we think everyone might leave here learning at least one new thing tonight. If you could do just a couple of things, update your Zoom labels, guys, to put your state abbreviation behind your name. This is a perfect networking opportunity for you. So if you're in Florida, you might be able to see all of the Florida notaries that are attending. If you're in California, the same thing. You might need to hook up with Wanda Boyd or somebody in California if they're close to you. So change your Zoom label and put that abbreviation behind your name. Show your face. Turn on your cameras, guys. It's so much easier for us when we can see your faces and everybody else can see your face. They might not want to hook up with Nina if they can't see who Nina is, or know where she's from. So turn on those cameras if you can. We'd appreciate that. Get involved during question and answer time as well. Raise your virtual hand to ask questions or participate in discussions. Alrighty, Mr. Ronnie, I think we're ready for you to get this session kicked into motion.
Right. So I just want to announce a few things just to remind people. I'm not going to give a whole big spiel about it. I feel, first of all, I have to say thank you to this year. So we've done really well for the last 5 years. We're going into our 6th year in April. This year, and I showed it to the team this morning, we've brought in 670 something brand new Notary Stars. So that means there are 670 as of now, brand new people who are dedicated to signing agent excellence. And so I just want to say thank you. All of your memberships go to helping this team grow. Remember when it was just me? And then remember when Beth came along, and boy, she made it better. And now we've got Bill who came along, and Kirsten and Manuel, and we just keep growing. And we're looking for new people in the new year. We want to keep this community growing. And here's the thing, we're not the ones who sit there and tell you how much money you can make. That's really up to you. But I want to say that the dedication to excellence is how I grew a multi-million-dollar company out of notary. Okay. I don't brag about making six figures. I'm going to brag about making millions because that's what I was able to do. And I don't know any other signing services that make millions that show their face and tell you what they need from you and not throw you away. So I'm very proud of this community, and I feel like we finally made our footing, in the fifth year. We've been able to add more instructors and have more things coming for you. So here's some announcements for you. Every year we do a membership drive. And the first year I was begging people. The second year, still begging people. Third year, it started to catch on. Fourth year, not begging anymore. This year, we're doing our membership drive. A lot of people have taken advantage of an annual membership where you do save money. I'm going to post that into the chat. Today is the last day until midnight. If you'd like to convert to annual and have that, it's either 25 on the Notary Star or 40% on the Notary Star Plus marketing level. You can make that annual commitment and make those savings for a full year. I won't be running another sale until probably the day after Christmas. But we're not doing the way that we used to do. I mean, everybody kind of banked on Ronnie giving a discount, and we're looking at growth, and your memberships help that growth, help the education that we're bringing to you. I don't put this money in my pocket. You can see this is now 5 instructors strong. The site is massive at this point with the amount of education that we have on it, and there's even more coming in the new year. And there's some tips and tricks up my sleeve coming for 2025. Just when you think we can't get any bigger or do any better, promise you guys, it's coming right around the corner. My team was like, oh my God, what has he got into over Thanksgiving holidays? So I want to say that. Now, here's the thing. We run contests every quarter now, and sometimes it's $1,000 if you do certain things. This quarter, we are doing it with your children. We got our first entry in over Thanksgiving holidays. I did post the Cyber Monday link. I want to remind you about our holiday contest. I'm going to post it with our newsletter. Oh, actually, Kirsten just posted it in the chat. Up until the 25th of December, I think it's the 25th of December, you're up to 12 years old. You can get them to do a starry night. It doesn't have to have notary stars on it. A starry night holiday. It doesn't have to be religious or anything. Just have them draw a picture with traditional methods and get it in, and your child can win $250. Who wouldn't love to give their kid $250 over the holiday season? That's a really great gift for a kid. I mean, you can buy a lot of video games with that or download a lot on the Nintendo Switch. So I want to make sure you know about that. And then the next thing that I want to do is I just want to Miss Beth, do we going to have 2 guests tonight or just one?
One.
Just one. So the next thing that I want to do is invite Gabriel from Idiomatic to come on, and I'm going to pin him up and give him co-host. Give me just a second to give you co-host. Oh, somebody got his ears lowered. Let's see. Make co-host. So we'll be posting an article in the chat while Gabriel's talking, and actually I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. But let me say this one thing. Guys, there are very few things that you can do in life where you can just make money from it, and somebody else is going to do it. We partnered with Idiomatic this year because everybody has opportunities as a notary for translation services. Okay. No matter where you are, if you have a website, if you are working with attorneys, if you're going into businesses, literally this is foolproof. Anybody can do it. Get an affiliate link. It's up to you how much you want to grow it. In my marketing class, I actually talk about taking your website and making it national and advertising these things. Gabriel is one of my best friends now because he pays quick. He pays quicker than title and escrow on those affiliate things. And the sky is really the limit. So Gabriel stops in about once a month and just kind of gives us a tip on working with Idiomatic and reminding us what he's about. We posted an article, which I just freshly wrote, that we're going to start posting every month for you guys. But Gabriel, welcome back, and tell us what's going on with Idiomatic lately, and what can notaries be doing during the holidays to kind of move those sales with document translations.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and thanks very much, Ronnie. I appreciate it. Yeah, got my ears lowered. Um, so, what I wanted to come on tonight and talk about, we're getting towards 2025 now. So, it's time for us to set goals as well for the coming year. The affiliate program has been around for about 6 months, and we want to help people get to where they want to be in the coming year. So building a business, even if it's a passive business, takes time. It's not a matter of days or months. It's steady work over year, 2 years, 3 years. So we're trying to help our affiliates and future affiliates uh, set goals, understand what they need to do to grow. And the way to do that first is education. So, what are translations? Why are they needed? How can they help people? Um, I One of the recent posts we've sent out to our affiliate community, which I understand that Ronnie is going to post, is well, educating yourself. So what I'd like to do as well, if it's okay with Ronnie, we're having a webinar coming up this Friday for our affiliate community to set goals, to understand what we do, how we can help everybody, and what to expect for the coming year, and really what is an affiliate program, how it works, and how translations can help you. Uh, One thing I'd like to mention and to the entire community here, and I think Notary Stars does this very well, we're not your competition. Other notaries, other signing agents, other apostille agents aren't your competition. Everybody should collaborate with them. So how can we make the pie bigger for everyone? I'd rather have a small part of a very, very, very large pie than 100% of nothing or a very tiny one. Um, so again, I'm gonna include in the chat a link to our webinar. If you want to learn more exactly about what we do, feel free to join. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern this Friday, and I hope to see people there.
And Gabriel, just a couple of things. I would love for you to send me the information so I could send it out as an email blast for
Mhm.
those who are not with us, because we're 10,000 plus community strong, um, and not everybody can make it every Monday night. A
Mhm.
lot of the ones that come through Notary Stars are out there working, and when they're not, they pop in or they watch the replay. So if you could get me an email that I can send out as a blast with that information. The other thing that I want to say, and I said this the last time you were on, it hasn't happened since, but I have hope. So, my biggest night, and I have to say this because this is important. I did $36 in one night off my website while I was sleeping. And I woke up at 3 a.m. and post this on Instagram. So it hasn't happened since. My average, I probably average a few bucks here and there. But my biggest sale was $36. And I'm still trying to figure out, okay, how can I replicate that? But let's just say I had my website making $36 every night while I was sleeping. That had to be a kind of a taller order. I'd love to go over it because it was one after the other, like sale that night. It had to be the same person buying different things. It was $36, but I averaged it up. Let's just say 25 working days. People are doing things. That would be $900 a month. Okay. If I can get to that $36 level, just $36, $900 a month, and then for a year, that would be $10,000 a year. Now, does that sound like a lot of money? To some people, maybe not. $10,000, I could be out doing signings. Well, guess what? You're not out working. It's just there. $10,000 is way more than your gas money for a year. It's actually probably double your gas money as a loan signing agent. So it would be paying your gas money and putting more money into your pocket by having this affiliate going while you're sleeping. Now, does it happen overnight? No. You got to market it. You got to make sure that you know how to market it nationwide. You got to make sure you update your pages. But what I love about it is, and then we got to start to move on, Mr. Gabriel, is Idiomatic is like Notary Stars in the respect that it goes for quality service. It's not providing people, just anybody translating their documents. It's a company. You must be looking at the chat, Gabriel, because I keep seeing your face like go all over the place. And that's okay. What I see from Idiomatic is that they're offering quality services like Notary Stars. It's people behind the scenes doing what we're doing, and all we're doing is passing them saying, "Hey, I don't do this service, but I know someone who is professional that does." And when you pass that link, you're not just sending it to some big company that doesn't care about you and getting a dollar commission. You're getting a hefty commission off of what they order, and you're knowing that you're passing your customer to another company that believes like we do. This community believes in quality, just like our motto, dedicated to excellence. Idiomatic, definitely dedicated to excellence. And I've seen it going on with Gabriel, jumping on the phone with notaries. I hear these stories about Gabriel getting into the mix and helping them and making sure the customer knows exactly how, or the notary knows how to reiterate. That's dedication. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of our community. I am so glad that we made this partnership and that you keep to come back and remind us of what you have to offer. But I really hope more notaries will get on board with Idiomatic in 2025. And please send me the information about post it in the chat as much as you want to, and I'll have Kirsten repost it throughout the night. But thank you so much for coming back every month and just filling us in. And I look forward. I'll be there on Friday.
Excellent.
All right.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Ronnie.
No problem. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'll post this in the chat and I'll send you an email with this as well.
Awesome. And Miss Beth, I think it is time for us to get started with the questions.
Righty. Hey guys, don't be shy. Raise your hands. We're here to listen to anything you want to share or ask this evening. And thank you in advance for doing the submissions on the jot forms as well. That seems to work out pretty well for a lot of you who think of something and need a place to deposit it for safekeeping. So we've got those for you. It's just a matter of getting to them. Mr. Mickle, we do have one hand already up in the gallery. I think we need to take Tiffany's question first.
Okay, but before Miss Tiffany goes, you can go ahead and send her the unmute request. Before Miss Tiffany goes, I just want to ask you guys, I think we have like 1/1 of the people who have cameras. What is one of 114? Like, we have maybe 20 cameras on. Guys, if you're driving a car, I completely understand. But we want to see your smiling faces. Let's get those cameras lit up. And this goes on replay and shows all those notaries out there that are looking and seeking for guidance. Probably the way some of you found us. Shows all of those notaries out there who are lost that there is a family out there waiting for them. If you're cooking dinner, that's okay. I want to know your recipe. Post it in the chat. Let's turn on those cameras. If you're tucking your child in, that's okay. We love to see them too. We love you because we know that this is a family affair here. So let's get those cameras on. I see Rosie turn on her camera. I love Miss Rosie's face. She's always so pretty up there. Hey, over there in Texas. So get those cameras turned on. I see Tracy Stahl, and God, she works for Unlimited Ink all the time. I love Tracy Stahl. See, I didn't even know she was here until the camera lit up. Let's turn on those cameras, and I'll keep reminding throughout the night. But tap somebody on the shoulder and tell them to turn on the camera. Who was it that's coming up next, Miss Beth?
Tiffany, but I don't know where she went. Her hand was lowered, so.
No, she's still on mute. Miss Tiffany, when you're ready, go ahead.
Yes, I just have a question about the seminar. Will it be recorded? Because like I'll work during the daytime, but I would love to attend to inquire. I mean to get informed about the potential new service, and learn more about that aspect of or finding out what translation documents is. Is it possible that could be recorded and sent like to replay?
Yeah, actually, we're going to record everything for everyone. So we'll have the live webinar at 12 p.m. and then I'll send out the recording within the next few hours after that.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you, Miss Tiffany. And that sparks something that I want to tell you guys. A lot of times, when you're anticipating something like Notary Stars or with Gabriel, Gabriel sends out a weekly newsletter that, and I think he posted online too, where you can see the previous tips and tricks. He's got one of the most amazing affiliate programs ever. You just have to indulge in it. And one of the things that Beth and I talk about, Miss Beth, you can say this: nobody likes to read anymore.
That's right.
And nobody likes to participate anymore. We just want to absorb by osmosis. And guys, you're not the only one. So do we. But we didn't get here by not reading and doing the hard work. So Gabriel sends out and he has a post of all the previous affiliate things. And you can apply his concepts to your other affiliate programs. And he's working his butt off to help with his own affiliate program. But a lot of the things that he's teaching you, you can apply it to other affiliate programs. So when somebody sends out an email, make sure you read it, especially if you're a part of it. So I just want to make sure when he sends out the emails, I get them and I actually snooze them and I'll pick a time where I know I can read it. It's usually Friday night at like 7:30 when I'm going to be in the bathtub and all these emails will come back to me and I'm just like relaxing in my hot tub or relaxing in a hot salt bath. Learn to use your snooze to get those emails to come back so you can read them at a time where they mean something to you. All right, we got another hand raised, Miss Beth. Let's go ahead and get that one as well.
Alrighty, Miss Bianca, if you would like to unmute and ask your question, we are ready for you.
Okay, hello.
Hi there.
I have a couple of questions. So I'm looking at a certificate right now, and it doesn't say the word acknowledged in it. It's written like an acknowledgement, but it just says and stated that they had executed the same for consideration, et cetera, et cetera. So I didn't know if that was like something that I needed to correct or put acknowledged or just leave it alone how it is. What do you do with that?
Really good question. You're from Arkansas. So what I do know about Arkansas, although I can't quote what your certificates look like off the top of my head, I do know that Arkansas is part of RULONA, the revised uniform, gosh, now I can't think of what the words are, law on notarial practices, which tells me that if a certificate is acceptable in another state, you can use it. But it also says that it has to have that universal word in it that says acknowledged. I've only seen a couple of certificates that kind of omit that word, but that literally has to be somewhere in the certificate for us to be able to use it in context as a notarial act. So I would say it almost qualifies, but if you want to be absolutely certain, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to direct you back to your Secretary of State and ask them. Most of our regulations use the word acknowledged before us. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of a play on words, but it might not fly for Arkansas.
Gotcha. Okay. And then one other question. Because I guess the hybrid certificates are accepted in this state. And my question was just how does that get recorded? Because I've said that if I'm going to record a hybrid certificate, I need to record them. The one certificate is two separate certificates. One is a jurat, one is acknowledgement, even though it's just one certificate.
Okay, so when you're using the word record, you're talking about
In my journal.
Okay. If it's a single certificate, then you're just going to mark it as a hybrid or as a jurat and an acknowledgement. If they're literally putting two certificates on your document, then you're recording them as two separate certificates. So yes and no. Hybrids can take forms, right? But when it's one certificate combined with two notarial acts, it's one certificate. Whatever your regulations say for a single certificate, which typically is going to be a single line, that's how you're going to record it.
Okay. One more question.
Okay.
Sorry about this. Just so that I'm 100% clear, because again, there was some confusion on this, where uh where it says it's an acknowledgement on oath. I'm like, that's a hybrid, correct? Because I have somebody else telling me, no, that's an acknowledgement. I'm like, but it says like under oath, or on oath of, or whatever. And so I'm like, so it's a hybrid. And they're like, no, it's an acknowledgement, but you're administering an oath. I'm like, well, doesn't that make it a hybrid? So that was very confusing to me as well.
Well, when you look at a dread, it says signed and sworn before me.
Okay.
And that's what they're trying to say. They signed it before you under oath. They were here. They signed it in your presence. What I'm going to tell you is that there's a lot of different handiwork out there when it comes to crafting certificates, and that could be through a lender, through a title company, or through their legal services. Even your governor's office can come up with some wacky ways to define a certificate. What I'm going to say to you is if you're ever in doubt on a certificate, just replace it with what you know to be state compliant for Arkansas.
Okay.
Just don't even mess with it. If it's truly a hybrid, subscribed and sworn before me and acknowledged,
Hmm.
those words, you know it's truly a hybrid.
Okay.
Now you have to figure out whether you can do a hybrid or if you have to have them choose which one. But if it's some other funky wording that just doesn't jive with what your state regulations are, don't even mess with it. Just replace it with your state compliance certificate and move on. Don't spend too much time.
It feels like Arkansas is kind of lax on a lot of the regulations when it comes to that kind of thing too. So, um, but yeah, okay, thank you so much. I appreciate
The
your
only
help.
other thing I could tell you is if you can get your hands on a regulation and actually read the law,
Hmm.
it's helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bianca. Oh,
Miss
wow.
Beth,
Okay.
before we go on, I just want to make two comments really quick. Not on this, on another topic, just so we don't miss them tonight. Um, so if you guys are wondering about the Notary Star lamps, which I have three in the background, but I just put my Christmas thing up. If you're wondering about the Notary Star lamps, I did post in the chat. You'll see several members on camera that have them for the meetings, and some of them light them up, some of them don't. It's perfect time to light them up, though, guys. And I see actually Bianca has one up on the shelf behind her, up there. I saw David Mercatz with his. I know Nancy Fauché's got a couple of them.
Mine's up. You just can't see it in my camera.
Yeah, if you guys are wondering about where to get the lamps, I did post it into the chat for you guys. We love to see those in the background, and when you go to other meetings, let people know by lighting those up, because when you light those up, people know that you're one of those curious minds, because we are the Notary Nut House and we're also the Notary Nerderies. So let them know in the background. It's a subtle way of saying I'm not just going for anything around here. The next thing that I want to say, speaking of not going for anything, I'm going to post this beautiful article that Miss Beth wrote. And this is part of an upcoming book that we're working on. We won't mention the name or the title. We are collectively working on a book. This is part of it. A lot of times when you're going to a signing, you're going to have an escrow officer that says, oh, well, I have a signature name affidavit in there, and that'll remedy everything. We just posted an article in there for you, and please click on it, save it, read it, go back to the Notary Stars blogs and read it. Look at the description in the chat if you're watching the replay. A signature name affidavit is not an ID. And you will be asked many times as a loan signing agent to accept one to remedy an ID problem. And you cannot use a signature name affidavit to remedy an ID. Your state laws for an ID are what they are, and a piece of paper that title or the lender generates does not remedy that. So make sure to read that article and have it on hand, and you can send it to Title and Escrow to help educate them. If they try to push you into a corner, you might be used to sending things from the NNA. Well, the NNA says this. You can actually use this article and say, Notary Star says this. We are making our headway in this whole industry. of kind of being that second line of defense for notaries. So make sure to have that article, keep it on hand, print it out, save it somewhere so that you can use it, because that one you're going to hear quite often. And thank you for taking the time to write that, Miss Beth. You did a beautiful job on it.
Well, thank you very much. I have a question for you, Mr. Ronnie, in the chat. So if you don't mind, I'd like to read that next.
Sure.
This is from Christy Davis, and she refuses to raise her hand and talk. Just embarrassed you, Christy. But I'm going to read her question for you. It says, as notaries, we are clearly prohibited from providing legal advice. Yet I've noticed platforms like Law Depot, LegalZoom, and LegalEase offer affiliate programs where we can earn commissions by promoting their document creation services. How can we ethically and effectively market these resources to our clients while staying within the boundaries of our roles as notaries? Specifically, what strategies would you recommend for positioning these affiliate links or resources in a way that adds value to our clients without being perceived as offering legal advice?
This is a wonderful question, and this is something that I do address in my marketing class. So first of all, when you have multiple resources, you're not crossing any lines of saying, this is the one that you have to use. And you have to be careful about that with like Law Depot saying, oh, you have to use this. So for instance, let's take advanced healthcare directives. Okay. If you're offering your state's free forms, which are a choice, and you're offering Law Depot as a choice, you now are saying, hey, these are two resources that you can use, and you need to make it clear that these are just resources that you can use. I'm not an attorney, therefore I cannot offer legal advice on your website to use these things. When you're talking to people in public, you direct them to your website, and this is something that I do every day at Unlimited Ink. I direct them to the website and I say, hey, listen, I have all the information there. I just took a call from an escrow officer who has a family member in jail, and we have to go through all these things. I said, listen, everything you need to know is laid out on the website, including how to book. You want to use your website as a tool, and you want to have as multiple resources. Now, let's go back to estate planning. As we learned earlier this year, we can't take commissions from estate planning, right? And so we would want to partner with multiple estate planning firms and offer those. The more choices you give, the less likelihood you are going to be pinpointed as someone that said, I had to use this one. And if you have them go to your website where you don't miss the words and you say, these are 5 choices that I trust or my customers use, but I'm not guiding you in any way. It's only one sentence on a website, and you can give everybody those options. So I would say give as many options as you can, up to 5. And I think that should remedy you from even if you're making affiliate commissions. And don't forget, if you have a website, you have to post somewhere on that website that you get an affiliate commission from that. It's like every affiliate rule and regulation. Other than that, you shouldn't be breaking any laws or getting into any trouble by saying these are 5 trusted resources. You're just a researcher. You researched it for them, and you're just pointing them in the right direction, even if you're getting affiliate income from it.
Really good answer to kind of a sticky question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Nancy, would you like to unmute and ask your question? You're so patiently waiting over there.
Hello.
Hi there.
So the other day I received an email from a random lady saying that she's selling a property. The title company has told her to find a notary, which is not out of the ordinary. So I told her I'm available for the date that you need me. And she says, they're going to need all your credentials, and I'll have the title company reach out to you. Great, no problem. So I get an email a couple hours later, and they're saying, so-and-so said that you were available to help them. we're going to need your credentials, your E&O, your license, your driver's license, all the things. And they're saying that they are with First American. I received tons of emails from First American. They are clearly not with First American. I replied to them. I said, oh, I see you're First American. I work for you. My credentials are in your system. Emails me back and says, well, I don't have them. Send them to me. Again, clearly not First American. Who do I report that to? Instead of just like some random person at First American.
So that's a sticky question.
Yeah.
That's a very sticky question. So first of all, let's break this down, and not to cut you off, Ms. Beth, because I would love to hear what you have to say. My first question is, what is their domain name? When they say they're working with First American, when they email you, what email are they? You don't have to give us their email. Just give me everything after the at.
I'd have to pull it up. I don't have it pulled up. This was a few days ago.
We're gonna give you a second because this is a learning moment for everybody.
Come on. Now I do know that they do use First Am dot something else, which First Am does not do that.
We don't. You may not know that.
Well, of all the emails I've
Let's
ever
just break
received
this
from
down.
them, yeah. Okay.
Let's calm down.
I'd
And
have to
because
find it.
They actually might use that.
Okay. Come back to me. Carry on, because I have to find it.
Okay.
Well,
Right.
okay. I want to break this down. Actually,
Gotta
let's just give it a second. Take a breath, Nancy, and
Okay.
just go to your email. And do you remember the person's name?
Yeah, I just found it right here.
Okay. I know you have Gmail, so it makes it easier to find things.
Yeah.
So what is after the at, what is their email address?
dr.com.
So after the at, it says dr.com.
dr.com, yeah.
Okay. So if you just Google dr.com, let's just see what we get. dr.com email addresses, because that is definitely not a First American that we're aware from. So let me ask you this: is there a website in their signature?
No.
Okay. Most title and escrow have their website in their signature. Is there a phone number in their signature?
Yes, and when I look it up, it doesn't come up with anything.
When you call it, does it do anything?
I did not call it because I assumed that they have my phone number and would be expecting me to call, and I would just get smoked.
Okay. Sometimes you got to be here live. We're going to pause this recording. So we call the number. It immediately says user busy on a cell phone. We tried it twice while we were not recording. So there's no website. There's a phone number that doesn't work. It doesn't have a domain name that goes to anything, and there's no I think we said this, but no website and after the domain name. So after this, I would disengage and I would report it as spam for them. I would disengage and I wouldn't go any further. Miss Beth, I'd love to know what you think about this.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Absolutely call the number. If there's a number on there, if you had, and she's right, they could be monitoring incoming calls too. They got her caller ID, they know it's Nancy, blah, blah, blah. I'd call from my husband's phone, or I'd get a second phone number, Nancy, just for, going in the back door to some places and calling them and figuring it out from there. But absolutely, if dr.com and you can't pull it up as a domain, probably isn't real. So yeah.
I do have to say this though. One of my biggest clients came from me. They did have a server down and she was using her Gmail address. And I wrote her back and I was very polite. And I said, I'm just going to use the name Karen. I said, hi, Karen. You're writing me from a Gmail address. And Title and Escrow doesn't use Gmail. So I feel like this is a scam. And she wrote me back and said, I love that you caught that. She goes, our servers are actually down. I'll contact you when they're back up from our company email. It can happen because they have smaller servers for title and escrow in particular offices. So always be polite, even with a scammer, because that one time, and that's only happened one time, but I got a client that used me over and over and over and over again and now uses unlimited ink because I was polite to them and I wasn't. Don't use it as your opportunity to vent on everyone out there. Use it as your opportunity to be your professionalism because that might get you. Again, guys, I own a multi-million-dollar company. I didn't. I don't make these things up. So use it as your opportunity to show your professionalism and protect yourself and your other clients.
Okay, yeah, I mean, once they sent me the last email saying, well, we don't have your credentials, send them, was like, both branches of First American have all my information.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah, and
that
I
doesn't
never
mean that every
responded back.
branch knows how to look it up. I have to say this. They have their own internal signing service. You're looking at 40% of them actually knowing how to use it. Some of them are using signing services. It could be a smaller branch that doesn't use that and they just want local notaries. Never assume. My high school girlfriend's mother, God, I wish they still liked me. They don't because I'm gay, but my high school girlfriend's mother used to say, when you assume things, you make an ass of you and me. So we should
Right.
never assume things.
True. Okay. Thank you.
Look in the
Yeah.
chat. Bill has some good information that he's put in there. Bill Bunfrey, our Ron instructor, says the domain dr.com is associated with both an email service and a company website. Email service, the domain dr.com is one of over 100 domains offered by mail.com for free email addresses. Users can create personalized email addresses using the domain such as yourname@dr.com. So yeah, you likely had a scam order come through and you were smart enough to see that there was something wrong.
Yeah, and reading that, I would say now it's time to report. That's another thing that your duty as a notary would be to report that to your email server, letting them know that this is spam or spoofed or those sorts of things. And as a Gmail user, it makes it pretty easy for you to do.
Yeah, for sure. All righty. Mary Beth from Missouri. Would you like to unmute and ask your question? I lost you. Your hand went down. Are you talking? I can't. Oh, hang on. There you are.
Unmute. There. Okay.
There you are.
Thank you. I received a call from someone, and so I wonder if we could learn from your wisdom and experience about kind of a litmus test on if something sounds okay or if it's a little fishy. This man called from another state, and he wanted me to go see his elderly mother because she's going to pay cash for a house for him in another state. And he also wanted me to take care of some trust paperwork for her as well. And he wasn't really specific. And so I just kind of sensed that that's not something I was very comfortable with, because he said, you did something for my mother last year, and I did at a care center. So I don't know that elderly mom is really going to be spending money to buy him a whole house for, cash. And I wondered why I wasn't getting called by, say, a title company. Said, oh, he said he's handling it all himself. So I wonder, is that kind of fishy to you, or does that seem like that's okay?
Off the bat, it doesn't sound fishy to me.
Okay, it does not. Okay.
The first thing, I mean, you might think that an elderly person buying their son a home sounds suspicious, but really that's financial, and she could have a ton of money stuffed in her mattress. We have no idea.
Mhm. Okay.
A lot of people try to spend down before they die, just to avoid taxes, capital gains taxes. If she can do a gift tax or do the gift and only have to pay the gift tax on it, have her son only pay a gift tax on it, that's a lot better than giving him money and then having to pay that tax. And that's strictly dependent upon what state he's in, right?
Okay. Mhm.
For her to buy him a home probably isn't a red flag for me.
Okay.
The fact that I did something for her earlier or a year ago, that would be my clue to say, I'm good with this. I'm going to go see what's going on. And you might get there and find out that she's expressing to you that the son is strong arming her into doing something maybe she doesn't want to do. Now, you
Mm.
could be a hero and be a mandatory reporter, but I don't think initially with just that much information that I would say it's not legitimate.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. You betcha. All righty. Mr. Mickle is out for just a second, so I'm actually going to ask a question out of our jot form, and this one's going to be for Kirsten initially to respond to, but I want you guys to know that if you have any suggestions, you can post those in the chat as well. But this one says, good evening, notary family. If you are mobile and carry your Epson with you to the signing table, what kind of bag or case do you carry it in? Right now, I'm using a sturdy linen tote, and it's okay, but I'd like to provide more support for Ebby. She puts in almost as much work as me. Kirsten, what do you carry your Epi in? You can't unmute?
There we go. Yeah, no, I couldn't unmute. First thing, I love that she has a name for her scanner. I think that is brilliant. Mine's just my scanner bag. That's original. I just have a tote that I had a gift with purchase from somewhere, and that's what I have mine in. And I don't keep mine in my car. I will, when I have to go to a signing, I'll take it down with me, put it in my car, and then when I'm done, I bring it back in. But it's a sturdy tote. It's not I don't want to say insulated, but doesn't have all that extra padding or anything. But I don't know, it does what I need it to do. But yeah, if you guys want to put what you use into the chat, that would be great. It says Melissa's saying that she has a locking rolling bag. There we go.
That's what I
So
do.
let us know.
Mine's on Bill's. Now I know Bill Bumfrey doesn't even carry a tote because he's strictly Ron. This man does nothing apart from his desk, right? He says no. He says, there's David going, yahoo, me too. What about you, Manuel? I know that you're pretty active. What do you carry your equipment in?
I don't usually bring my printer to the signings or like inside my signer's home, but I do bring my scanner, just a lot lighter, smaller. But if I have to print documents, I'll just go out real quick and just print the documents or make copies, but I don't usually bring it in.
So it's hooked up and ready to go in your car.
Yes.
That's mine. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, yeah. Somebody else says I have a very small rolling luggage bag that is the perfect size for my scanner. And there's also bags, guys, that are actually made for those pieces of equipment. I think Ronnie uses a pizza insulated carrying bag or something. Is that right?
I do. I actually used the old Postmates bag. If you could find one and get the dimensions off of it, that would probably be the best one. Miss Beth, while we're at like 10 minutes till the hour and still have peak viewers, we're at 130 tonight. It's kind of low, but it's after a holiday. We have so many jot forms and we're going into 2025. And so I want to play sudden death with my my staff here.
Okay.
And my coworkers. I shouldn't call them staff because everybody here is just as equal as me. I'd like to see if we can stay a little bit longer tonight and kind of go through rapid fire And what I'd like to ask, and I'm going to ask before I do this, because I'm not going to do this with everybody, and I'm not going to make them stay because I know some people have engagements and appointments. I'd like to extend this section tonight for, and you guys all know you're getting bonuses this year. I'd like to see if we can get through these questions without raised hands on the camera. Just get through some of these ones that were added on the job form. For the 4 people other than myself pinned on the screen, how would you all like $100 bonus to go to 7:30 Mountain Standard Time to get these questions answered, just so that we get them out and we can clear as many as possible before the end of the year? Because we're kind of behind on them. Can we do that? All of you get $100 bonus for 30 more minutes of your time past the hour?
Yeah, I think so.
I could handle that.
Bill?
I was going, yep.
Is it $100 split or is it $100?
It's $100.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Let's go through the job form as quickly as possible. Starting from the very top. Let's get through those as quickly as possible so that we can answer those and get them done. And we'll stop literally at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time on the dot, 6:30 Pacific. If you're on the East Coast, I'd love you. I hope you can hang with us, but we're going to go through as many as possible. Ms. Beth, I'm going to let you start dictating the questions.
All righty. These are 2 questions for you, Mr. Ronnie, from 2 different people. Let me get them both out before you start. The time is ticking. Amber says, I've heard other notary mentors speaking about loan signings are down and will continue to go down. They recommend not going after loan signing work. What's the best way to market myself in SoCal to gain loan signing business? And Elsafat says, my question, that sounds like wicked.
Alphaba.
Yeah.
We're all going to be thinking Alphaba for the next year.
My question is, how can I get clients and access to signing companies? So kind of the same question.
So actually, well, you see it as the same question. I see it as 2 totally different questions. The very first question is, it has to do with, should I diversify, basically? And the answer is yes. You should diversify your portfolio of what you offer as a notary. We can do so much with our time as business owners. It doesn't even have to be part of your notary stamp, as long as it's legal and it's a dotted line, or it could be something completely different. So in that first one, I would say, what's the best way to gain access to loan signing business? Notary Stars, Notary Academy, Notary to Pro. We all have collective signing services and title companies that use us. Make sure you have all of those 3 trainings. Make sure your profile is up to date, and come to general mentorships like these and say, hey, I've done those things and how can I get more? So make sure you've updated your profile. Now, how can I get clients, get access to signing companies? Notary Stars has over 450 plus signing services with ratings. As a Notary Star member, you gotta, everybody's name has to be in everybody's hat in order to make that happen. I've done it myself. I remember 10 years ago in Arizona, when I came over from California, sitting at my kitchen table, which is all the furniture I had, literally, if you know the story. I moved to Arizona from a bankrupt company with nothing and started all of this 10 years ago. And sitting there, putting my name in everyone's hat again, redoing my address, redoing the contract, making sure I was there. It's a rite of passage. So you have to be in everyone's hat. Gaining access is just making sure you put your name in everyone's hat. Some people are going to send you 1 a month. Some people are going to send you 30 a month. Let's go on to the next question. I think next one's for you, Beth.
Okay.
Can the notary sign as a witness in a POA? Example, for estate planning documents.
Well, almost universally, the answer is going to be no. When we talk about powers of attorney, estate planning documents, advanced directives, Those are all what I call true power of attorneys, not this made up something down the road from real estate agents. It's a true power of attorney. It comes out of your attorney general's office or your state office, state level office. And they almost always have instructions that are included with that that say who can be the witness on those. And almost always they say the notary cannot be the witness. Quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Thank you for that. The next question is for you, but I'm going to chime in on this one. I'm going to give it to you, and then I'm going to chime in on this one. Opinion on Googling your signers. Example, you Googled your signer for your signing that is tonight, and you found them on the sex offender list. Same address. Or Googling your signer to see if they are the ones who are on the deed.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to tell you is that you're taking your job way too seriously in that aspect. It's none of your business. If you're doing that for your own safety, I'm thinking you're hyperextending that fear and you need to go into a different industry. It is public record. You can find it. Is it necessary to do your job? It is not. If it were me, and I want you to turn it around and think about you having someone come to your house, you're on the sex offender list, let's say, it was a total misunderstanding. You were blackmailed, you know, it was wrong. It's a wrong conviction, and you have to live with this for the rest of your life, even if it's not a wrong conviction. Just understand, living under that type of scrutiny is tough enough. To have someone coming to your house to assist you in signing loan documents and they know your history, your background, to me, that's an invasion of privacy and it's not necessary to do our job. That's all I got to say.
I will second that, and you said everything that I wanted to say. However, I would like for everyone to know, when I was 24, 25, 24, maybe 23, I was walking home from a bar in Atlanta with my friends, and police officers were standing, and this is public knowledge, so, and it's expunged from my record, but I was walking home with 5 other gay men from a bar. The police said, "Hey guys, come here." And my friends were like, "Don't go in the park." And I was like, "But the police officer with the car said, let's do it." They called us into the park, said, "Get on the ground, you faggots." That's the word that they used. And they proceeded to arrest gay men walking home from the bar who would listen to them. They lost their jobs. Shirley Franklin, who was the mayor of Atlanta at the time, relieved them of their duty. I got to go to the HRC campaign that year. Sometimes, as Beth said, there are misconstrued. We got all of that removed from our records as sex offenders, which they were charging us for being gay men in the park after hours. I just want everyone to know, as a notary, your job is to identify the signer, make sure they understand the document, make sure that they're willing to sign the document or coherent enough to sign the document. If you are taking that beyond that, it's out of your scope of business. But I will say, as Beth said, and I just had to say this, sometimes there could be misunderstandings in life. I'm lucky they took that all off my record. You'll never find something like that on me. But that could have haunted me for the rest of my life, just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time, walking out of a bar in Atlanta, walking along the sidewalk, which runs along the side of the park, because somebody needed to meet a quota or someone was feeling brave and those sorts of things. So we'll move on to the next question, Miss Beth.
All right. I was going to ask Kirsten or Manuel if they had any brief comments they wanted to put on that.
No, I think you guys answered it perfectly.
Manuel?
No, same here.
Okay, cool. Moving on. Ronnie, for these rapid fire questions at the end, can you give Kirsten and Manuel co-host ability so they can unmute themselves?
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I will do that. I'll give Bill co-host ability. Well, I think Bill has it.
Yeah. Here's another one. Next rapid fire scenario type of question. Opinion on concealed carry for signings. This is mentioned a few times on Facebook with people saying you should. Ronnie, what's your opinion as a signing service? Should I carry concealed?
I just have to make sure we're talking about the right thing here. Carry a concealed weapon?
Yep.
Okay. I'm torn and I don't want to cause a war out there, but I don't carry a gun to my signings. And I think if you're living in a world where you should, if you want to carry it in your car up to the door, sure. But 90% of the time with loan signings, your lender has already vetted that customer. Title's already vetted that customer in a certain way. You probably won't be there. Not saying that there's not a 1 to 5% chance that there could be something shady going on, but it's probably not going to be somebody that would harm you. Probably just somebody trying to get away with something. If you want to carry something, I wouldn't carry to a hospital. I wouldn't carry to a school. I'm not going to say you shouldn't carry a gun. Okay, I'm not that guy. If you come in my house, I'm gonna be like Kamala Harris. You might get a bullet in the booty, and in the booty, because even if you turn around, I'm gonna take my opportunity. But into a school, into a public place, no. But if you're going into a stranger's home in the middle of the night, I can't say that I disagree. I just think you need to use discretion and not take the liberty because you can. And so I'll leave it at that. It is up to you as an individual, but who you wind up being after you use a gun will haunt you for the rest of your life. And I will say that with conviction. There's a reason why I say it that way. Because if you use a gun inappropriately, just because you could, the law will come for you. So just be very careful with that. And I'll turn it back to the person who wrote that and anybody who's thinking about it.
Yeah, Bill says in chat as well, use the concealed carry apps or posted to find out where you can and cannot carry. So
There's two different apps you can download from app stores. One is called CCW and the other one is called Posted. And they will give you all of the laws for every state, what, if you can have it near a school or where you can and can't have it. If you have a concealed carry, you probably already know those, but
perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Beth. I think the next question is actually for you, and this is from Affy. I think she's still here tonight, so it's great that she posted this question. Signers typically sign loan documents the way their names appear in the documents. Should they sign the notary journal the same way, or can they sign it as it appears on their ID?
Well, that's a really good question. And the first thing I'm going to say is that it depends on what your state regulations say has to go into your notary journal. Absent from any detail on that, I solved that problem for myself. I collect two different kinds of signatures. When I start my journal entry and I record all of the ID information for my signer and the date and the time that we're doing the notarization, that signer is signing their name that first time without any direction from me. That's their signature, the way they want to sign it. Then I'm looking at it and comparing it to their ID and what they signed on my journal. And usually it's pretty similar, right? From there on, they sign for each and every document that is notarized. If they're signing Ronnie Mickle trustee, that's how they're signing that document. If they're signing just Ronnie L. Mickle, that's how that name goes on that line for that document. The reason that I had, and it's not a requirement in Arizona to have every document have a signature attached to a particular document type or document title. The reason that I do that is because having done this for almost 25 years now, you can't imagine that I've been in court a couple of times. This one particular court case is this gentleman who said, I signed all of those documents to sell my house, but I didn't sign that one. Yes, you did, because I have your signature for that particular document. That's why I do that. So that's how I fix that. But you need to look at your own state requirements. And some states don't even require that you keep a journal. So you guys need to know that you can always do more than what your state requires.
Miss Beth, we have two questions that I'm going to skip, but I'm going to make it very quick for everybody. A lot of people ask, how can I generate more income as a notary? How do I build a business part-time? How can I make a certain amount of money? I'm going to take those off because honestly, guys, we talk about this every week. You can't ask one question and get the answer to that. This is an entire journey. All of our brains, all 5 of us, are uploaded onto the internet so that you can download it into your brain. That is not a question that you can ask and get an easy answer for. So we're going to go back to questions that we can answer tonight. Join us at Notary Stars if you want to know how to make more money. Miss Beth, the next one is from Tammy C. It says, I just have a quick question about the signing when there is a trust. I've been at this LSA gig for almost a year. When I did my first refi with a trust, I had to re-sign because she didn't sign everything under the line as stated. Then I just had another one come through and and them sign as it was stated under the line. I was told it was incorrect and had to do a re-sign. This is a great question, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Is there one standard way, or is it just dependent on the account? Miss Beth, I'm gonna let you answer that, and then I'll chime in on it if I need to.
Well, actually, I think Kirsten needs to chime in on this because, because I think it's kind of basic notary 101. And that's kind of our notary liaison point here. What do you think, Kirsten?
Well, I think one, you need to make sure you read your instructions that you get with your loan signing packages, that whether or not they say to sign with that trust verbiage. While you're printing and prepping your documents, we always tell you, check those signature lines. Check to make sure if there is capacity, what needs to be done. If you don't know, you can always call your hiring party and find out. I did have one where they wanted the full entire trust name. So-and-so trustee of the blank blank trust, dated. It took her forever to sign everything, but that's what they wanted. And I had to make that call because it was actually not through a signing service. She ended up having to call her attorney who prepped the trust documents. So.
And can I add something?
Yeah.
Also, if all possible, get it in writing. Email the hiring company, so this way you have it in writing that you received those instructions.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Always, you need your get out of jail free card because you might be talking to somebody who's new on the desk. Just like Kirsten, when she got the instructions to have them sign all of that verbiage, I'm going to tell you in 25 years, I've only had that happen twice. So when it's something that's unusual, we're not saying it's wrong. We just need our get out of jail free card because someone's going to counter that down the road and say, oh no, she told me to do it this way. Or he did, right?
While we're still at peak viewers, I love that you guys are sticking with us. I want to throw this in there too. I see a lot of at Unlimited Ink, and keep in mind we process 3,000 transactions plus now a month at Unlimited Ink. We'll have notaries go, oh, well, I've never had to do this before. I've never. Okay, well, you might have been working with the same client, but when you work with another company, it may be different. So you go to your instructions first, see if they've actually posted the instructions. Then you post the question. Then you have the Notary Star line, if you're a member, to help you. And guys, every single one of you, and we teach this at Notary Stars, you have access to the lender instructions, which are to title, which they're supposed to tell you. Look at the lender instructions 90% of the time. If they've included them, we'll tell them what they're supposed to tell you.
Amen.
The lender instructions are always in every package. So I've got an amen tonight from Beth. Woo! I've grown up, guys. I've grown up.
All right, what do we got here? I watched this is from Denise.
I think this
I
is
watched
from
the-
Manuel, actually.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Manuel's question. I watched a video that stated on the deed to have the signer initial each page to verify that they actually did view the page. I've also been told not to do this unless the signing company instructs us to. Can you please let me know which way is the correct way?
Sure, it's just all depends, going back again to instructions, right? So some of the deeds, it depends, like if it's a deed of trust, right? Some companies they do require you to initial every single page, whereas others they don't require it. So again, go back to instructions. We have to read our instructions. But if they're talking about like conveyance deed, and if it's in a buyer package, then yes, the very minimum they need to initial that document.
I want to add on that, Miss Beth. One of the things that I look for, and I tell notaries this, and when I was teaching at Notary Stars, this was one of my big ones, and it's still one of our videos. Immediately when you see a deed or a conveyance deed, you should look really careful at the bottom, at the note, the deed, and this is not giving away anything in our training because we have so much that's in there. Look really closely at the bottom of your deeds and make sure there's no initial marks required. That's going to be your saving grace. And then when they do initial, make sure that they initial with all the letters in their name that is on the signature line. I would say that if you can't reach your assigning party to make sure, and you don't have any instructions, look very close at some of those initial marks. They're like right on that little line that goes all the way across, and they're like right there. You need to look very closely to make sure you don't see any initial callings. Miss Beth, you got anything to add on that?
Only to elaborate on what Manuel touched on. He was talking about a conveyance deed in a buyer's package, and initialing that. What he was referencing really is that read and approve stamp. And sometimes, guys, they're so faint on those documents that you don't really see them. And what he was saying was in a buyer's package, we don't normally see that conveyance document, that warranty deed or something, because the buyer doesn't sign it. That's signed by the seller. But you have to think in your mind, if it's in my buyer package, they want me to do something with this. So look really carefully at that for any faint read and approve stamps that are asking for initials from your buyer. That's what Manuel was alluding to on a conveyance document.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
Just when I have my script when I'm explaining what a deed of trust is or anything, part of my script is stating, as we're flipping through those 16, 17, 20 pages, however long that document is, that I will say out loud, sometimes you need to sign or initial each page. Let's just take a look. And I just have that automatically part of my script. So that way I'm always knowing to check that. So make it a habit. If it has to be part of your script, it's an okay thing to have as your script.
There you go. Perfect.
Miss Beth, this next one is for you, and I think this is a juicy one. So if you're thinking about hanging up right now, stay tuned. We'll be notarizing a trust for a signer who's legally blind. She can see some with a magnifying glass. The attorney has requested that the documents be read to her and will be recorded. Is this the notary responsibility for reading the entire thing, or can it be split between the notary and one of the witnesses?
Yeah. Well, this is from Nancy. Nancy's in Florida. The first thing I want to tell everybody is to know what your state regulations say. In Florida, it says a notary public may notarize the signature of a person who is blind after the notary public has read the entire instrument to that person. So you can't split the duties. If you're notarizing the document, the notary has to read all of the words off of that page. So, yeah, sorry, Mark, you're in Florida too. So if you have a blind person or somebody who's legally blind, when she says she can read a little bit of the words with a magnifying glass, that's still legally blind. You have to read the entire document to them.
There
Moving
goes that 20-page deed of trust.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you, Miss Beth. And then the next question is also from you. I really want to get this one out, and I would love to comment on this after. But can you summarize the gap indemnity agreement?
Yeah. The gap indemnity agreement is what a seller would sign in a document package that indemnifies the title company from any defects against title in the gap period. So that's between the time title does title search on the property and says there's no liens, or maybe there's one, the current first mortgage that we're going to pay at close. Other than that, we're free of defects from that date that title search was done until the loan closes and records. At the county, the seller is taking on responsibility for that gap period and saying, I don't have any judgments against me that are going to hit title during that time. I don't have a HELOC where I'm going to take another draw on a home equity line of credit and thereby creating a lien on title in that gap period. If anything happens in that gap period, I will indemnify the title company from any wrongdoing. How's that?
That sounds wonderful. I actually posted into the chat for anybody that when you go indemnifies. I think one of the things that helps people understand that is to understand the definition of the indemnifies, which is to compensate someone for harm or loss, the amount of insurance it may be needed to carry to indemnify the owner in the event of a loss. So make sure you understand the word indemnify before you start to try to explain the document, and then apply it to the document in the agreement. So then you'll be able to understand it a little bit better. I think that helps a lot more. It helped me when I was trying to understand that document to understand the word indemnify, to start there.
This next question is for you, Mr. Ronnie, I believe.
I love it.
One of the students in class was asking about, in wrong class, was asking about secure document upload from the client if they didn't use Dropbox, Verifile, etc. They want to know if there's a way with Wix or WordPress to have documents uploaded from their site for them to receive securely.
So I use a company called JotForm, and I talk about this in my marketing class. There is a way to get HIPAA compliant. Now, when it comes to total title and escrow security, you're either going to have them send you the documents via secure email, because that's a lot more than just HIPAA compliant. If it's a general document, you can use JotForm and have an upload form where they can upload their documents at the time of purchasing your RON services. But when it comes to title and escrow, you're going to need to request that your client from title and escrow or a lender send you those documents secure email, and you're going to need to send them back secure email. But when it comes to websites, even my pay grade as a Wix legend and knowing everything that I know, I use JotForm, and we use it at Unlimited Inc. But we tell them when it's title and escrow documents, they're going to have to email them to us, secure email.
Rapid fire questions. We're keeping moving here. We're getting through them. Next one's for you as well. I'm looking to update my E&O insurance to 100,000, and I'm being asked if I want the policy in my name or in my company name. I currently have E&O for 25 in my name, but don't remember being asked that question back then.
Doesn't matter if you were asked that question back then or not, Ms. Appy. Thank you for this question. This is a wonderful question. So if you're upping your insurance and they're asking you, do you want it to be in your company name? You are the owner of your company, so you're going to be covered. It's really a matter on if you're going to hire other signing agents to work under you. I would have it as my company name, because that may be how you bill people, so that you keep your name out of press or anything that could go wrong. Or if you hire employees, but I would only put it in my name if that was my company name, like if you were a sole proprietor. So if you have a business name and you have an LLC, go ahead and put it under there. You are a member of the LLC, you're protected. I'm not an attorney, therefore I'm not practicing legal advice. I'm just telling you how I would do it. Get a second opinion.
That's good. We'll indemnify you, Ronnie.
Thank you. This next one is for you or Kirsten, I believe. It says on a seller's affidavit where the signers were being duly sworn according to law, as written at the top of the affidavit, the certificate was an acknowledgement, not a jurat. Do I have to add a loose or a jurat certificate and not notarize the acknowledgement that was in the package? I love this one. I love this question. So, Ms. Beth?
Yeah. So we have two things going on here. We always teach you in class, the minute you see the word affidavit on a document, your antenna should immediately go up and you should start thinking in terms of having to administer an oath. What you want to do is look in the first couple of sentences or a paragraph on that affidavit for the words that, or something that says after being duly sworn, right? That's our instruction to place the signer under oath. Duly sworn by anyone who can do that can only be the notary in the room. So we already know if it says duly sworn, we're going to be giving them an oath. If we get down to the bottom of the document and it's an acknowledgement, we're still giving them an oath, but we're completing the acknowledgement. Why? Because that's the certificate they attach to the document. We can't play lawyer on these things. They want an acknowledgement. That's what's on the document. We can't change it. We're going to complete the acknowledgement, but we're going to also follow the instructions in the document that say we have to place them under oath.
And
Hope that helps.
Ms. Beth, for journal purposes, how do we notate that in our journal?
We're listing it as an acknowledgement certificate, and then we're going to make a note that we administered an oath as well.
You can't get better answers anywhere else, guys. You can't. You really can't. Thank you for that, Ms. Beth. The next question is actually for Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill, it says, I'm looking for a RON platform that not only lets you bring your own clients, but also will send you signings. What are some good platforms that aren't too pricey, that are profitable and user-friendly?
So that it's kind of a catch-22 because there's not a lot of platforms that allow you to both work your clients and their clients. And in the instances where you can do both, typically you're not getting very much money for working their clients, but you can bring your work. And in the ones that actually give a little bit more to work their clients, they tend to cost you more to bring your own clients. So it's one of those things where I would encourage you to come to class on Friday, and we could probably drill it down and pick them apart a little bit more. But it's kind of a 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. There's if you tell me the platform you want to work on, I probably can give you better insight in class without just doing it too blanket.
And then while I'm getting this last question read for Miss Beth, this is the last one. We made it, guys. You all made a $100 bonus after this question. But Miss Beth, before I go, who's doing the take me home tonight?
Me.
Okay. So Miss Beth, this last question is for you, and then I'll start the take me home and you'll take us home. This is from Anita B. I love Miss Anita B. She's so cool. It says, hello, Miss Beth. Please read and discuss this question. I had someone ask me for the following. We will need the notary authorization to correct the signature lines for both borrowers to read manager and to notarize this acknowledgement. The acknowledgement was blank. Title, okay, I'm going to leave that pink part for you because I think that's yours.
Yeah.
Is this the best practice to have the signer add manager to their signature if not instructed? I told the person I was not able to notarize a blank acknowledgement nor give them authorization to change their signatures.
So I had to dig for a little bit more information on this, and the entity, the person that was asking her to have the signature lines corrected to read manager was the title company. So the title company is giving her direction after she had this package signed that the signatures needed to be corrected. And they gave her a blank all-purpose acknowledgement. And that typically is what they do. They give you a blank one because they figure we don't have our own. We're too lame to have our own state compliant certificate. So they give us an all-purpose one, and they are blank. But I'm sure they intended her to complete that certificate and, fill it in, sign it, stamp it, and send it back for the new signatures. What I ultimately found out is that this was a wrong signing. So number one, she can't give anyone, particularly a title company, the authority to change a signature line and add the word manager. She doesn't have that authority to do that. That's first of all. Second, it's a wrong signing. That is a electronically locked document. You can't go back and change it. She'll have to re-sign those documents using the correct capacity in that signature line with her signers and then completing a new certificate. But here's the takeaway. Here's the lesson in this. Whenever you have an entity signing a document, there almost always has to be a capacity in their signature, right? Mark Miller, managing member or member. Roxanne Franks, trustee. Carrie McCollum, attorney in fact. Those capacities have to be in those signatures. That's what gives them the authority to sign for somebody else. So Mark Miller, manager, is signing on behalf of the company. The company is not there to sign. I know it's weird. Companies don't have digits. They can't sign. I get it. But still, the concept is the same, right? Wanda Boyd as trustee, that title, that capacity has to be in there in that signature line. And if you ever doubt that, if you don't have instruction that tells you to use capacity on those signature lines, then make the call before you go to the signing. If you get there and you're surprised and you're going, dang, I didn't see that, stop, make the call at the table. Do you want capacity in these signature lines? And then whoever you talk to, whatever they give you as an answer, you're going to make that note. And also ask them to send it to you via email. Send me those instructions via email so I can have it for my record. But guys, you always need to know capacity should be in a signature line. It shouldn't be something you have to think about.
Thank you, Ms. Beth. And now the time has come for me to say, if you are not naked and you are not stuffing your face with a sandwich right now, let's turn on those cameras. My staff and my coworkers just made an extra $100 for doing rapid fire for 30 extra minutes, and you have made it. So please turn on those cameras and let's give our signature wave to each other, to those future notaries, to those 2025 newer notaries that are going to be coming learning this after you did. You're going to be a month ahead of them. Miss Beth, how do we really say it here at Notary Stars?
Well, for stretching this out as long as we did tonight, this is going to be really short and sweet. The best way to predict the future is to create it. That's it. Bye, guys.
There we go. Thank you, Miss Beth.